moving forward, we have the next important breaking that we are tracking. The White House has now released Situation Room images from the time when the US attacked nuclear sites in Iran. This has come after the US president has shared that the US conducted strikes on Iran and successfully targeted 3 nuclear sites, including Natanz, Fordo and Isfahan. Major General Rajan Kochar joins me. Well, in fact, appreciate you joining me at this point of time, Major General Rajan Kochar. And these Situation Room images that we can see on our screens clearly depict the messaging is clearer than ever, with Donald Trump now donning that Make America Great Again cap. And this is just during the time when there were discussions happening about what had Donald Trump made his stance over the entire conflict brewing up. And this Situation Room images does raise, in fact, the concerns over what US is trying to maintain as a very strong positioning in this entire conflict.
Thank you for inviting me for this discussion. It is very clear. You see, these targeting which has been done by the United States is very, very precise to 3 specific locations where the nuclear enrichment plants are there. And these have been done after 10 days of war, when the Israelis have not been able to make substantial damage to these sites in spite of a number of missile attacks on these sites, because these require a special kind of a munition. And that delivery system in terms of B-2 bombers and the GBU-57 bomb is only available with the US, where these B-2 can actually deliver this payload. So I think that's the reason the United States had to come into this conflict, because both the countries, Israel and Iran, being a no-contact war, they will not be able to sustain this war beyond 15 to 20 days, because it involves a high cost of missiles which are being fired at each other, and this kind of sustenance cannot be absorbed by both the nations. So that is the reason we are seeing on the 10th day the United States has entered into the conflict. Now, what is important is to understand for all the viewers also is that for United States, Iran going nuclear is a no-go situation. And according to recent reports which were actually emanating from the IAEA and other sources, intelligence sources, it suggested that Iran was very, very close to a nuclear bomb. So that was one of the prime reasons why Israel got into this conflict. Second is, as we have seen in the last about 1 year, Iran has been weakened, because if you read the war doctrine of Iran, it clearly says that Iran will fight a asymmetric war, a hybrid war. It will not get into a conventional war. Iran has 7 countries as its neighbors today, and none of those countries are hostile to Iran. So the war doctrine is particularly aimed at Israel and the United States. And that is why we have seen in the last 1 year, the proxies of Iran have been weakened to a very large extent. We have seen in Lebanon how the entire leadership of Hezbollah was wiped out. We have seen Hamas also getting almost wiped out in Gaza. And we've also seen the Syria domination of Israel, and that has actually cut the logistic routes to Hezbollah, because everything used to come from Syria on to Iran to Syria and then onwards to Hezbollah in Lebanon. So this was, I think, possibly the most opportune time for the United States and Israel to launch these attacks, because Iran is at its weakest. And the last point here is that the United States very well knew that Russia and China will not get into this conflict because of their own preoccupations with their own issues in Russian-Ukraine war is going on. China is also committed in the Indo-Pacific. So I think the entire narrative has been played in the sense that nobody will come in support of Iran. As they have seen in the last 10 days, people have only been issuing statements, but nobody has volunteered to get into this conflict. And if Iran does not come on the table now, because the scenario which I would like to foresee in the next 72 hours is that if Iran does not come on the table now, then possibly we can see a second strike from the United States.
Major General Rajan Kochar, thank you very much, in fact, and for all these comments, what we are able to comprehend from your context.